I think one of the things that I would encourage is if we put a microscope, if we put a magnifying glass on every one of our aspects of our business and be looking for that ROI.
Do you feel the pressure to grow your business, but doing so feels a bit like drowning? Welcome to Slow Growth Business, the show for business owners and leaders to quiet the noise and lead your business to success, one day at a time, slow and steady. If you feel your business is running you and you're ready to run it, you've come to the right place. Now, here are your hosts, business coaches Jimmy DeGroot and me, Kyle Bullock. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. We're back in the saddle.
Woohoo!
More podcasts coming your way. We've got exciting things going on at Train Retail, and we hope that you have exciting things going on in your business as well.
Yeah, and you can't see us, and we did not plan it, but we're both wearing plaid today. So
we are.
Yeah.
I look very Midwest. So we're in the middle of a series of podcasts that's all about helping businesses fight back inflation. Inflation is this thing that a lot of consumers are now really feeling. Yeah. And as a result, small businesses are going, what do we do about it? And so we want to give you some solutions through these podcasts on different aspects of inflation. Mm-hmm. Today's podcast is all about what you can do to cut costs in your business. Because one of the ways you can fight inflation is not just bolstering your profit margins, which was kind of what we've talked about, or doing events that help in sales, but it is about thinking about how can you cut costs? How can you trim the fat that you don't need in the expense category so that you can save more cash for profit, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. So Jimmy, I have a couple of ideas. I'm going to ask you to send out a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
That's for 2025. What can we do as small business owners to cut some costs in smart ways? Let's not like trim the fat so much that we have nothing good left, like we're skin and bones. What do you think? What are a couple ways that you would suggest businesses can cut some costs this year?
All right. So if you ever watched the movie The Founder with Michael Keaton and Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch play the McDonald's brothers, and these guys stood on ladders above their teams or above their guys who they had the restaurant mapped out in tape. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they had the restaurant mapped out in tape, and they were analyzing every single movement and repetitive movement of their staff for creating what was called the Speedy system of delivering hamburgers. I don't know why, but I've watched this movie over and over again. And this is one of the things that I've always done in my store was I've actually sat and witnessed what does it take to write up a sale on the computer? What does it take to wrap that or produce, give it to the customer, put it in a bag? What are the actions? Where are people stumbling over each other? My whole goal, and I just love doing this, was to streamline processes. If we never really analyze processes and what we do with the movements that we do, there's probably a lot of waste there. There's probably a lot of repetition that we're paying for that, adds up to hours. And so one way I have that I love doing is streamlining and just making sure that all of our processes, whether it's, and it starts with back with QuickBooks, taking those discounts, paying those vendors on time and taking the discount. Sometimes it's a significant discount for paying on time. I always made sure that we did that. So that's just one way. What other ideas do you have?
So I have a couple, and actually piggybacks on one of the things you touched on exactly. One is about outsourcing things well. Outsourcing at its best can do a couple things. It can be a pain in the butt. But there are times when it kind of convolutes the system. But at its best, a good outsourcing will streamline it because someone else is already gifted at doing the thing. Mm-hmm. And so let them do the thing, and they'll possibly do it for a whole lot less than you can do it.
Right.
Here's my litmus test for outsourcing, okay? Because there's all kinds of things that you can outsource. And I'm going to give you 3 areas that I have found in my own business that have been really lucrative to outsource. But here's the litmus test that I use to determine what I'm going to outsource. I think about what am I getting paid per hour to be in the business? right?
Yep.
If you're listening to this,
Yep.
you should be paying yourself. If you're a business owner, you should be on payroll, right? Unless you're an absentee owner. But if you're in the business, you take a salary. So break that down by the hour, right? Do you get
Sure.
$50, $70, $100 an hour to sit down and do the job? Then think, whatever it is that I'm doing right now, is there somebody that I could pay to do the same or similar quality of work for less? So if you're getting paid $50 an hour to sit in the business and do whatever it is that you do to run the business, could you hire someone for $30 an hour to do QuickBooks?
Right.
If so, that's already a cost savings because you have to pay yourself to be there and to do those things. You're basically paying yourself $50 an hour to be a bookkeeper. Why?
Right.
Bookkeepers can get paid a lot less to do that task. So let a bookkeeper do it. This frees you up to run the business in more profitable ways. So for your $50 an hour, fee, you're now turning your attention, instead of to the bookkeeping, you're going to turn your attention over to like marketing, or in, real-time sales, working with customers, or in developing the products that you sell, or services or the billable hours that you sell. That's way more profitable than messing with QuickBooks, right?
Absolutely. And the word there, the proverbial word there is creativity. If you can be in a creative mode, right, you're going to be technically earning more dollars per hour for your company than doing something that A, you may not like, B, you may not be good at, and is destroying your quality of life at work. Pay somebody else to do it.
Right.
My goodness.
Well, and this may blow some people's minds if you don't know how organizational leadership can work at its finest. This is what organizational leadership can do, and what individual business coaching can do, is to help you identify these areas and help you as the leader stay true to what you do and to your core. I mean, you mentioned the movie The Founder. McDonald's was built by Ray Kroc, but the idea was the McDonald brothers, right?
Right. Yep.
They were really, really gifted at developing a system for their business. And when they stood up there and they figured out how that system worked, they were like maestros. What they were not gifted at was developing a franchise. That was not their thing. That was Ray's thing. Yep. So one of the things that we teach in organizational leadership is that maybe your gifting, the place that you really find your niche in, is in the technical side of things. So stop being a CEO if you're not a good CEO. A CEO is just a job title. They have things that they have to do. Some of the greatest companies that I've seen develop is the mastermind. The owner of the company is the guy who's on the workbench because he's a master at that thing. But he's hired a CEO to run the company, and the CEO is not the one who owns the company. So again, this is outsourcing at its finest. For now, it's just think about what you're doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis that you might be able to pay someone else a little bit less to do. And I'll give everyone 3 specific areas that I have personally seen cost savings in, like the most recent 2 or 3 years. Okay.
For somebody who is, should we define that person? Are they an entrepreneur?
Yeah. Let's define it as like a small business entrepreneur, small business owner. Okay. Whether you own a bakery and you're making baked goods, or you're running a retail store selling guitars or jewelry, or maybe you're an attorney with billable hours on your own. Okay.
Right.
This person.
Okay.
To this person, here's 3 areas that I have found to be really great to outsource or consider outsourcing. One is bookkeeping. Okay. This is just the job of paying the bills, putting in the invoices, putting in the data. That's kind of, it can feel like menial work, and it can really zap you of your energy if that's not your gifting. And there's very gifted bookkeepers out there who can do it very fast and very, very accurate.
Yeah.
The second is payroll. Payroll is kind of adjacent to bookkeeping.
Right.
But it can be, maybe you want to keep the books, but payroll can be outsourced now to like companies online like Gusto.
Sure.
So much less expensive. They take care of your taxes. They take care of the filings. They take care of all that. And it's relatively affordable. I mean, it's not that much money to hire a company to take care of all that for you. And the third, and like to me, this one was gold. It was IT services. To have a really good IT company. And I'll tell you that for my money, IT services they probably charge me the most right now to service my business, but man, they are worth every single penny because I have them on call. They come take care of computer issues. If there's a problem, they're on it. And I don't have to spend a single hour trying to troubleshoot a stinking computer. And I hate doing that. So does my staff. So I found that those three areas, they save you an enormous amount of time by giving people who are really gifted at those things the ability to take care of the menial stuff. And right now, in today's climate, you can find really, really good service in those three areas for not a ton of money, really.
Right. Absolutely. Listen, I could not agree more on all three of those, because I've always noticed that I love being in the creative side of the business. I love doing the marketing. I love standing around looking at processes, making sure we're streamlining all that, anything that's creative. And those people, I've paid those people. Those are my happiest checks I've ever written, because these people are gold. They do it way better than me. They do it faster than me. There's an economy of scale there. That is incredible. So, okay, so we're talking today about how to save money. And right now you're talking about paying 3 different people. Okay. But, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask you. So how do we make money on this?
Well, you answered it a second ago when you said, when you get other people to do this work, you get to now be creative. A great mentor of mine would say, prioritize in your day what is most profitable.
Right.
One of the ways that you make profit is really identifying what is your strength as a member of the team of this organization, and where does the profit come from? I'll tell you right now, for me, making profit is in developing the systems that we operate in our companies, and in selling. If I can get in front of somebody and sell, and then I can train someone how to sell and create a sales team, that's what I do. The more time I can spend selling and training teams how to sell great products that we create, the better. The more time I spend on the stinking computer trying to figure out how to unzip that file that's corrupt or whatever, I just start to melt.
Well, yeah.
And
your ROI goes down. And I was just thinking this before. You and we just talked when we got together. We're like, oh, thank goodness we're back together again after the holidays, because now we can get back to it and get in a creative mode. And for the last few weeks, I've just been in this really mechanical mode. I'm like, I hate doing this kind of stuff. I looked at my day like that too when I was in the store. I'm currently not in a retail store. We're here helping you. This is what we do now. But what I would look at everything that I would do on a daily basis, and I would be thinking, who can I pay to do this? I should be earning $50 to $75 an hour in everything that I do. And if I'm doing a $10 to $15 an hour job, great. Hey, I'll do it, because I like to lead by example, but then always be looking for that replacement, always be looking for somebody to allow me to be in the creative mode.
Yeah. Okay. You inspired me just now, because maybe if you heard me talk about IT services and bookkeeping stuff, you're like, okay, I don't have the hundreds I need to spend per month to do that right now.
Right.
I get that. But brilliant thing you just said, like, there are things in your business that you're doing that someone who's getting paid $15 an hour can do, or even $20 an hour. But like the $15 an hour person, they can set things up in your business. They can clean things up and tidy things up. Here's one that I just thought of when you were speaking. One of my nephews, he's 16. Okay. So he's happy to take any kind of job that he can. And one of the things is, at my business, we have these trees that dump leaves all fall long. I hate picking those leaves up. For $20, he was thrilled to come pick those leaves up. So outsourcing can be as simple as, think about those menial tasks. I don't want to say demeaning type of way. But I'm talking about stuff that you could pay a high school kid or a college kid to come in and take care of for 5-10 hours a week. Like, that's also outsourcing in a way. And it saves you an enormous amount of creative time and a much better ROI, right?
Yeah, but you're also fostering a future entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You got a kid that's willing to come and pick up the dog doo-doo in your yard. I mean, that's a kid that's going to develop a business from that. He's going to have 20 trucks running around the city pretty soon. So,
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
so I have a couple more ideas. And a lot of this is a lot of what you teach in our consulting here. And I don't want to, you know, I'm not looking for the shameless plug on all this kind of stuff. But one of the things that is what I always used to do is I would look at every showcase and maximize my ROI on every one of my showcases, every advertising, every bit of something that we laid money out on. It better have an ROI. It better have a great ROI. I think one of the things that I would encourage is if we put a microscope, if we put a magnifying glass on every one of our aspects of our business and be looking for that ROI. Okay. Is my social media stuff, is it working? Great. Okay. Or what happens with my staff when the customer leaves? What do we do? Do we have a follow-up? Do we have a plan in place for what's happening, for follow-up, for outreach? And those are, of course, the types of things we train in the Train Retail Sales Training Program. But I love all of that kind of stuff because, listen, I'm okay if people are sitting around once in a while having a cup of coffee, socializing. We need that. We spend 100,000 hours of our lives in a full-time job. So we need that. We need our culture. But what are we doing? What are we doing with our time to maximize our time, our retail hours spent? So it just really, sorry for the long explanation, but putting a magnifying glass on every aspect of your business.
Yeah, because
Okay?
it's
The light
dollar
bulb.
signs, right?
Yeah,
When
the
you're
light
doing that,
bulbs.
you're seeing the dollars leaving the store
Yeah,
or they're going in your pocket. Those are the only two ways it's going.
yeah. Yeah. Do you have LED lights up in your fixtures? How are you lighting your store? And there's all kinds of ways you can save money there as well. And the other thing is subscriptions. For me personally, I'm constantly looking at my subscriptions. Do I need this Zoom subscription? Do I need Canva? Do I need my subscription to Adobe and all those kinds of things?
Is a subscription really worth it?
Yeah.
Right? Subscriptions are really convenient, but also, I mean, is it really? I think about my home subscriptions, and I do this from time to time. I'll sit around and I go, we have not opened up Apple TV like once this week.
Yeah,
I've watched maybe 2 episodes all month, and I've paid this much for it a month, like what, $20 a month or whatever. So each episode cost me $10. I hate that. It's gone, right?
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. Is it really worth it? I mean, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I guess that's my biggest advice is get a magnifying glass on every aspect of your business. Look for the leaks. But then to your point, look for the opportunities for you to be in the creative mode and for you to get the highest ROI on the things that you do as an owner and manager in your business.
Well, here's this, because I got one more, and I can use this as a dare for our listeners. You just ended the year. So you take a P&L, your profit and loss statement, and on that profit and loss statement, you have all these expenses on there. Okay. Of those expenses, you'll see things like subscription and the office supplies and all the stuff that you got to spend money on. And that can be the place that you take that magnifying glass Jimmy's talking about and ask yourself 5%. Can I cut 5% of unnecessary stuff? Now, don't cut essential things. And I wouldn't go monkeying around with payroll right now. I would look at kind of everything else, though, like the material goods and services that run the business, the electricity, the utility. Can I cut 5%, which is really not much, right? You can maybe cut 5. Now, here's my last piece of advice that you can get another 5%. And that is when you go to your vendors, the people that you're buying the things that you need. Whether that's if you're a retail store, you're buying things to resell them. So that's cost of goods that you're buying. Or if you're not, maybe you provide services. Think about the things that you have to buy, like rent and utilities, the big money that you have to sell whatever it is that you sell. Okay. So think about your vendors who are invoicing you. And if you can get a little bit of cash on hand, maybe you've have a nice sale event, or you just had a really good fourth quarter and you're going into the first quarter. Okay. But you have a little bit of cash on hand. Go to them and negotiate a better price. Okay. Because right now, they hopefully are listening to this podcast with you. They're thinking the same thing. But there's an old saying, like as they're thinking about trying to cut costs, they're also know the old adage, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? Which
Sure.
means that if you have a little bit of cash and you go to your best vendors and you say, look, I'm going to not only just pay you on time, but I'm going to pay you right now, and I'm going to pay you in advance for some things. Can I get a cash offer deal on that? And if the answer is no, that's okay. Just pay them regularly on time with a billing cycle. But maybe you can get 5% off getting that reorder in.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's one, and this is where the inspiration came from for me. My bookkeeper looked at a storage unit that we have. We have a storage unit for our business that we got to keep stuff in. And he got a bill, and let's say it was like $1,200 for the year, and we were going to pay it every month, or it was $2,400, whatever it was.
Right.
And he goes, I think I can go to her and just pay her with cash if you'll let me, but I'll get a deal. And I said, okay, fine. 20% off. 20% off.
20%. Nice.
I was like, yeah, go ahead and take it. Write the check, right? It's going to come out of the bank anyways. Now it's off the monthly expenses, and it was 20% off this thing. So my point is this: if you've got a little bit of cash to spare, maybe consider going to some of those good vendors of yours. Don't overbuy. Don't try to like bulk up on things that you may not necessarily need, but on your regular stuff, offer them a cash deal and say, will you give me a discount? If the answer is no, you don't need to spend your cash. You can just put that in the regular billing cycle, like I said. But take advantage of some of those discounts. Some of those vendors are going to be thrilled to get paid right now in cash and not have to have service fees. I bet you could get another 5% off on some things there. 5% there, 5% off of what Jimmy said. There's 10% you've just cut from your P&L, and it goes straight to profit.
We consider it a cool thing if year to year our expenses can be even, great. But hey, if you can just bring them down just a little bit, that's really cool. And the other thing I want to encourage too is, especially like Kyle and I do a training thing. Okay. We're training managers. We're training salespeople. And you and I will constantly be telling our people, do the ROI on this. If it's not paying, get rid of us. Okay. Fire us. If if this is not working, if it's not paying you multiple of what you're paying us, put the litmus test to really kind of all of those services that you're getting as well. So I want to encourage that. And it's fun. It can be really liberating. And if business is going well right now and you're in a management or ownership position and you're just kind of thinking, hey, what can I do to further the business? Maybe it's not looking for that new line at this point, or maybe it's not looking for a new advertising thing. Maybe it's just putting a litmus test on everything that you're currently doing and cleaning house a little bit, maybe sharpening the knife a little bit.
And you know what? One of the inspirations you can use as you sharpen the knife and you look with a microscope at the business is ask the team, like ask them, where can we cut costs? And if they come up with a great idea, then pay them a bounty. Like, I got one staff member, if she can save me $1,000 a year in postage, she's gonna. And I don't see postage all the time because I'm not the one mailing stuff. So she's just like out there figuring that out. Well, if she saved me $1,000, here's a $100 bill. Thank you very much. I still saved $900.
I did that with my team, and we had a jewelry store up in Wausau, Wisconsin, and it was for wrapping paper. And we were getting wrapping paper shipped. Well, you know how heavy wrapping paper is, especially really good stuff. Well, it happened to be made in the town where I'm from, Neenah, Wisconsin. So I'm like, next time I'm going down there, I'm going to fill my car with, saved $300 in shipping.
I love it.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun. But then, then if they find gold like that, I'm going to bring them back lunch from that place that they love, So that's just fun.
We've given you a plethora of cost savings ideas for 2025. Latch on to one or two. But what I really hope you take away from this episode is that Jimmy and I are in this relaxed state, and we've referenced this word fun. Like, we've had fun doing this. Cost cutting can seem like you're the hatchet man coming through just to tear things apart, when in reality, it's about optimization and find some fun in it. Like, it's a rewarding thing. If you do it right, it's rewarding everybody. So I hope what you're hearing in this episode is to take that relaxed state of mind, just chill and have fun in a creative way, making your business just a little bit more efficient and realizing that as you do, it's protecting you from inflation, but it's also rising the profits of your business all over, and everyone's going to benefit in that situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, listen, I've got to tell you before we go, I love that what you said, involve the team. They will take that on. They will get excited about that. That's just fun.
We'll keep this going next week. In the meantime, everybody, good luck out there. We'll see you next time.
We hope you leave this episode a little better than when you first began. If you'd like more resources to grow your business slow, steady, and consistently, check out our on-demand video catalog at trainretail.com. Or if you have a question or frustration we can help address in your business, write to us about it. We love to help solve big, ugly problems. So hit us up at kyle@trainretail.com or jimmy@trainretail.com. Good luck out there, and we will see you next time.